Data recovery. This is something everybody runs into at some point or another. What I've got here is I've got client systems. A new client just came on board with us. They bought a business from somebody else. The other people left a bunch of machines there, but took the server. So we have no way to get into these machines, no passwords, nothing. So we got to get into these systems so they can start running their business like they need to every day. There's probably some files on here we need to recover. I know for sure there's plans, other things that came with the business that they just don't have access to, and then the other people are gone, they sold the business, they're out of there, they don't care anymore. My job is to find the fastest, easiest way to get the data off this machine. I'm going to tell you a couple ways I usually do that. First way I normally do that is with this mess of wires. This is a Kingwin USB to Sata converter. Very handy to have. Not going to use it in this case, and I'll explain why in a minute. If you're interested in seeing how to use it, I've got another video for that. Just look below in the SID Tech videos and you'll see it. It consists of a power adapter, a SATA to USB converter that also does IDE. Very handy to have, but not appropriate in this case. In this case, I'm going to use a Hawk PE boot disk. You can download this off the internet. There's like 3 different names I've seen it under. There's Hawk PE, there's Bart PE, Bart, Hiren's boot disk, a variety of options on this. This will allow me to get in, wipe the passwords on the machine, and get us up and going. If I was not reusing this machine on site, I would just pull the hard drive and copy the data off to another flash drive or something like that. But since these are going to be reused, we don't want to move the data off the system. We just want to crack the passwords. These are Dell Optiplex 755s. It's a compact machine. It's designed to sit on a stand on the back of the monitor. Forgive me, I'm going to bash on Dell a little bit on this design. Works pretty good, has decent cooling for a compact machine, so I don't have a problem there. Where I do have an issue is Dell went ahead, took all the power components out of this machine and placed it in this massive brick. So you look at this nice cute machine, oh that's a great deal, it's a nice pretty machine. Well look at this brick that's got to sit underneath your desk or someplace and suck power 24/7 to keep this machine running. It's a silly design. I don't like it, but again, doesn't matter, we need the data on here. Client's got a new business, they're not looking to buy new systems, they just want to get up and running. So here we go. Quick tour of the inside of these machines. There's a little key on the back of this, you just flip that to the side, twist that, that releases the front end, pops off. Very compact, actually a decent design other than the stupid power supply. We've got a channel to keep the processor cool here, 2 fans front and back. They blow a lot of air through there. They manage to keep the processor nice and cool. So I haven't had issues with overheating, and the few customers that I've got that have this type of machine. Hard drive's easy to get to, SATA and power. They've got this nice little system where you just pinch these handles and the drive will slide back and out. I'm not going to pull it out right now, but you get the idea. It's a decent machine. If you run across them in the field, they're okay. Just hate the power supply. I mentioned before, I really don't like the power supply situation on these little Dells. And not to harp on it, but I'm gonna anyway. This massive brick, not only is it almost as big as the PC, it also has a proprietary plug on the end of that thing. I don't know if you can see that. Looks a lot like a plug you'd plug into a motherboard. This guy goes in here. You have your power unit burn out, your adapter burn out. Forget it, you got to get another one from Dell. Nobody else that I know of makes these monsters. Get this guy plugged in. I use DVI on this, hooked up to this old Samsung monitor I've got. And USB to PS2 converter, just because, hey, this way I only have to plug one thing in. First thing I do in this case, I'm going to boot up and I'm going to enter setup. Make sure that this thing is set to boot to the CD-ROM. Hit F2 on a Dell. Usually it's F2 or delete, depends on the system. Occasionally I'll see an F10. Once we're in setup on this particular machine, we'll check our boot sequence. And here we have the CD-ROM drive listed after the hard drive. Our CD boot is not going to do any good in that case, so we need to move that up. Changing the device order on this particular machine is just simple as pushing U to move that up one on the boot list. Hit enter, save changes, escape. We want to hit save and exit, just using the arrow keys to jump around in here. And we should be booting here. I've already got the Hawk PE CD in the drive. This is a little bit older version. It doesn't really matter which one you use. I've been using this one obviously for quite a while. This one's from 2009. Pretty simple. Look through the list. Every one of these CDs you pick up off the internet has a different menu list. This particular one, I'm going to hit C, change the passwords, enter. Right now it's searching the disks on this machine to identify everything. Alright, so it's identified our boot drive. Candidate for the Windows partition is dev SDA2, and here we see boot. The obvious choice here is to select one, which we're going to do, and that's the default. Mounts the disk. Doesn't like mounting. It's complaining about it. Do we wish to force to mount? Yes, we would need to force the mount. Comes up with the directory for the registry. Every case I've run into, just leave it as the default. Hit enter. It's going to ask you what you want to do now. So we want to do number one, password reset using SAM system security. We're going to hit number one. We're going to edit user data passwords. So default again, number one. Again, we're going to use our default here. It's showing administrator for the default username that we're going to pull the password on. And we're going to use option number one, which is clear the password. One. Enter. So now that's stripped the password off the system. We're going to hit bang or exclamation point for quit. We're going to hit quit. Q. Hives have changed. Do we want to write the files back? Do it. Now the default here is no. We want to hit yes because we want to write that back. Enter. And our edit is complete. We now shut the system off and boot it up. Hitting the power button, we want to eject that CD because we don't want to boot to it again. The system didn't come up correctly the last time it was booted, so it's complaining a little bit. We'll just go ahead and boot into safe mode. Hit Control-Alt-Delete to log in. And our password should be blank. There we go. System stripped the password. I'm back in on the local machine. I can retrieve all the data for the users now. Pretty easy. Bart PE, Hawk PE, Hiren's boot CD, whatever you want to call it. Really useful tool, especially if you don't want to get into the machine, take it apart. If you're on a client site somewhere, need to get to the data, get one of those CDs, download it off the net, just Google it, you'll find one. They're out there. That's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and please subscribe below. Bye.